Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do what I will call a sermon roundup. Sermon roundup. Let's say that together. Sermon roundup. And here's a statement, and in a moment I want you to say aloud whether you think the statement is true or false. And here it is. Christian education and formation, growth in one's faith, the development of one's spiritual life is to stop when you become an adult. False. That's false. Keep that in mind, teenagers in the parish. Christian education and formation, growth in your faith, the development of one's spiritual life is in fact intended never to stop. And while there are many, many, many ways to grow your faith over a lifetime, one of the most basic and ongoing forms of Christian education are sermons. Are you taking advantage of them? Whether it's me or Father Al or whoever the preacher happens to be, we spend literally hours in prayer, in study, and preparation, putting these sermons together for you. For you. The sermons at Christ Church are for your spiritual growth. Whether you're a teenager, or whether you're in your 90s, or whether you fall somewhere in between. So take advantage of them. And thanks to technology, you no longer have to miss a sermon unless you choose to miss a sermon. And thanks to technology, you can listen or listen again to a sermon as a reminder, a refresher, inspiration, or a challenge. And you can also pass on a sermon to a friend or a family member. You can text them the video. You can email them just the audio. So, take out the green sheet in your bulletin and we will dive into the sermon roundup. Or share with someone next to you. And as we go through, be thinking about which sermons you need to check out or check out again, or that you might actually send to a family member or friend because it might be helpful to them. Are you ready? Either way, let's go. February 2nd, A Holy Expectation. That was my first sermon here, and it's about Candlemas. And if you have no idea what Candlemas is, then maybe you want to check that out. Also, if you listen to that sermon, there is a hint about the future direction that we might be going in as a church. February 11th, Become. Do you know the secret pattern of human transformation? Don't you want to be transformed? February 18th, A Spiritual Arboretum. How can your faith be a source of strength and help when life is hard? Some of you are in a season like that right now. And for those of us who aren't, we will be. Notice the next sermon has an asterisk. Liking is. Liking is optional, love is required. Liking is optional, love is required. This is for everybody. 9, 19, 49, 99. This is such an essential of the Christian faith. How do you relate to people that you disagree with? What do you do with people who just get on your nerves? What do you do? How do you act? I think this is so essential. I do not say this lightly. You should check this out at least 3 times. I know you have millions of other things you can do, so trust me, I would never say that unless I thought it was so important. It's important to our life together as a parish family, especially as we move forward with our visioning process and people have different ideas about things and all of that as we make plans for our next steps as a parish. And it's just important in general because we live in a contentious world. And if you are a leader at Christ Church in any shape or form, I will basically expect that you have watched this. And I will graciously hold you accountable to striving to live it out. And I hope that you will hold me graciously accountable for striving to live it out as well. This principle of liking is optional, love is required. March 3rd, get a life. We all come from different walks. We're all different ages and stages. But if we're Christians, there should be one constant that weaves throughout our whole lives. That's what that sermon explores. March 9th is back to basics. It's actually the most basic of basics. And if you're like, I don't know what that is, or maybe you're trying to take your faith seriously for the first time or the first time in a long time, or maybe you're going to be received or confirmed or whatever, you might want to check that out. March 12th, Ash Wednesday. Everybody's got a letter. This is a very short little meditation, but it has a vital lesson. And I'm not lying or being cute when I say this. Listener discretion is advised. Because some people who heard that sermon said it was very helpful, but it was tough. It's short, it's brief, it packs a life lesson. I see a couple people nodding, so you might want to check that out. March 17th, hold the line. How do you persist through life when life is really difficult? When you feel like you're at the end of your resources? What do you do? So this might be helpful for you if you're in that season, or it might be helpful to share with a friend and pass that on to someone. March 24th, you see there's an asterisk. The phone's for you. What's your purpose in life? What's your calling? You know what? It doesn't matter whether you're retired. It doesn't matter whether you're a teenager or somewhere in between. Every season of life, we have purpose. Every season of life, we have calling. And so maybe that might be helpful to you. March 31st, Far and Far Away. This is like Jesus' top 3 all-time hits, the parable of the prodigal son. And it might help you think about your faith in a different way. And there's also a warning about that sermon, but I'll let you read it. And then April 6th, pay attention to your piety. If you don't know what the word piety means, you're going to have a hard time paying attention to your piety. So maybe that will be useful to you. The next few are very short little meditations from Holy Week. Suffered to Save from Palm Sunday. Served to Serve from Maundy Thursday. Forgiven to Forgive for Good Friday. And Told to Tell the Easter Vigil. Easter was incomplete, unspoken. Christianity is not just about the resurrection. It's not just about the events of Holy Week. Those are essential, but it's much bigger than that. And in that sermon, I attempt feebly to open the window to that vastness. And also try to provoke you to think about the idea that being a Christian is kind of like being bilingual. Some of you here are bilingual. We could learn from you. But as Christians, being a Christian is sort of like being bilingual. And then the last one on this particular list from April 27th is I Doubt It, which explores the infamous Doubting Thomas. It explores the whole thing of what if you were skeptical about certain claims of the Christian faith? What if you have doubts? You're like, yeah, I'm not sure about that. What if you have a lot of questions about the minutiae or the big things? I put an asterisk there because I think everyone should check this out. But if you know someone, and I bet almost all of us here know someone who is a skeptic or who has questions or who has doubts, this would be a good thing to share with them. So what I'm going to ask you to do now for just like a minute, maybe even a little less than a minute, is I want you to turn to somebody nearby and briefly share with them a recent sermon, whoever's sermon, that you thought was helpful or memorable for some reason. Talk to somebody nearby about a recent sermon you heard. Go for it. Okay, you could talk more, which would be great. But that's just about a minute or so, a little less than a minute of sharing. So there you have it, a sermon roundup. You can find most of the sermons preached at Christ Church on our YouTube channel. And that was recently changed so that when you go to the YouTube channel, just go to YouTube, Christ Church Westerly. The most recent sermon will be on the left, and then all across will be all the other sermons in chronological order. We also have a sermon podcast, meaning it's just the audio. You can also go to our website. There's now a link recently added to the website under worship services, which will give you the links to the video, so you don't have to go back into the service and go through it. You can just go directly to that video or to the audio on sermons on our webpage. It also makes it easier for you to share with someone. You could just text someone a video, you could email. We in the parish office can help you figure that out if you have questions. And if you do subscribe, guess what happens? If you sign up for it, wherever you are in the world, the next sermon that is preached will magically appear on your device or your phone. So you can stay caught up with the preaching ministry of your church, these sermons put together for you wherever you are. So, how can you grow your faith and help grow the faith of others over a lifetime? There are many, 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 many ways. But one part of that, one part of the menu, are the regular sermons of your local church. So listen to them carefully. Take them seriously. It's good to even chat about them sometimes. It's a good thing to do maybe on the car ride home or with someone else. Sometimes you won't have much to say about a given sermon. That's fine. Sometimes it will provoke more conversation. That's good. So you can rewatch them and you can stay caught up with them wherever you happen to be in the world. And you can share helpful ones with friends and family. Say, hey, this message I thought might be helpful for you. Just, check it out. Ultimately, the sermon is not about the preacher. If you ever feel that the sermons are starting to become about me, I give you permission to call the bishop. I give you permission to call the master of my order and say, I think he's getting a little off here. Ultimately, the sermons are about God. They're about you. They're about your life, your growth as a Christian, your growth as a human being, your growth as a follower of Jesus, your life outside this building. So, for God's sake, with sermons and many, many, many other things, maintain and grow your faith. Amen.